Action is going to be the key word in Chinatown in the next couple of years. We're going to put together a team that's going to look at an urban, economic, and social development plan for Chinatown. We call it the Alliance of Chinatown. People and citizens need to have an outlet in order to shape what the Chinatown is going to become.
There you go. That is a little clip from my early interview with Claude Pinard. He's the chair of Montreal's executive committee and in charge of Chinatown. He's the member of government in charge. James Mennie, what do you think of their plan? Hello.
I was wondering, I was waiting after that clip to find out. And I've covered maybe, 300 or 400 of these kinds of announcements for various neighborhoods.
I bet.
First time I've ever heard not a single molecule of comment from anybody in Chinatown about this. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because the last time anybody, was talking about Chinatown was the fact that the daycare that was there and serving the people and the families in Chinatown had to move to Old Montreal because of the homelessness, of the drug intoxication, syringes on the ground. And can you please do something? And it turned out that the city apparently had okayed moving a resource center for sex workers, apparently in the same sort of like area as some old age homes. I really got the impression that they were calling for a lifeline, that this is a cohesive existing. This is not some Disney ride. This is an actual neighborhood. Mm-hmm. This is an integral part of the city's DNA, a part of what Montreal was and what it is, and hopefully what it will become. And it has been beset. And critics there have said we were being used as a dumping ground for emplacements that would never, the city would never think of moving anywhere else in any other neighborhood. But for some reason, Chinatown keeps getting the short end of the stick. And this idea, which I found completely bizarre, that here's a neighborhood asking for a lifeline, they get handed a broom. I have never heard anybody in Chinatown complain. I know they say, well, residents have said it's a matter of hygiene. What? Okay, I mean, listen, I've been walking through Chinatown for the past 40 years, okay? And yes, not every, T is crossed and I is dotted, but it wasn't this accident, not even waiting to happen, this perpetually occurring accident where we have crime, where we have people, store owners, who don't know what to do because somebody who's completely stoned walks in and starts, making threatening noises. These are not, anecdotes. These are formally made complaints. And to be clear, and I know that's, you're simply, repeating what the city of Montreal is saying. The politician in charge of Chinatown is the mayor of Montreal. Mm-hmm. The mayor of Montreal is also the mayor of Ville-Marie Borough. Mm-hmm. So the idea she wants to staff this out, okay, to Monsieur Pinard, okay, that's fine, all right. But the fact, as I say, Sue, that we haven't heard word one from anybody in Chinatown on this, I think speaks volumes. And I really hope between now and whatever public consultation or even private consultation or, or fact-finding mission or whatever usual City of Montreal BS stall they're going to use to keep the problems in Chinatown at arm's length, okay? I really hope that Mayor Martinez Ferrada picks up the slack on this, gives us a little more than a cleanliness brigade, which, honestly, I remember they tried that downtown for a couple of years ago, if you remember. It didn't exactly work. But all that said, it's like I thought for sure there was going to be some kind of announcement with some meat on the bone, and we got more kind of, we'll wait and see, and we have great plans and this and that and world stage, and shut up. Do something now. People there are worried, and people there are scared, and people there are Montrealers. So spare me this idea that Chinatown is this, little Lego set that you can rearrange, and hopefully everything's going to be fine. The way the city of Montreal has ignored the issue of homelessness, whether it's in Chinatown, whether it was in the village, whether it was downtown, they just keep pushing it around. And I remember our famous mayor, Valérie Plante, said, well, we have to learn to live to coexist with this.
You can't. What? Wait. I couldn't hear the last thing you said.
We have to learn to live to coexist with this.
Yeah.
Okay, which is running up the white flag. Nobody's paying you to coexist with it.
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, the wording of that was mine. So that he's in charge. You're absolutely right. Of course, it's the mayor that's in charge. I just want to ask you though, because one of the things, of course, I asked him about homelessness and his work with the brewery mission. There was supposed to be another sort of outpost of the brewery mission, and he categorically said no. And he actually said something really interesting. He was like, 80% of all the missions and that kind of thing are in the south of the city, and that it's basically time for other neighborhoods to take up the slack. But he did talk about this local alliance, which is going to have business leaders, Palais des Congrès, the STM, and obviously police on it too. So does that give you any comfort?
The police are good. STM, I don't know what the heck he's talking about. As for a local alliance, do you want your transit authority and your local alliance?
Well, because Place d'Armes is a problem,
Well, yeah, but that's metro security, and quite frankly, that's not an issue that's limited to the area of Chinatown.
Yeah.
And whether so honestly, I get the impression, maybe I'm wrong. I apologize in advance. And indeed, if there was some comment today from anybody in Chinatown, I apologize in advance. But quite frankly, I just heard a lot of baffle gab here. We're going to clean the place up. Everything's going to be fine. And quite frankly, I haven't heard anything about the and don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of the overall mission. I think what they're doing is great.
Me too.
But in terms of the execution, in terms of the planning, in terms of the clash between a neighborhood, and once again, people they think like some kind of ride at Disneyland. It's a neighborhood. People live there, and the concerns that they have been expressing for months. I find it amazing that we're saying, well, all of a sudden that's not going to be an issue. I think it still is an issue. I think we would have heard about it. I think if that entire plan had been put to one side, we'd have heard about it. And frankly, I've heard nothing. Maybe I'm mistaken, and I apologize, but I haven't heard. I've heard as much about that plan being put aside, Sue, as I have from anybody in Chinatown today about what was announced.
Well, I mean, he did tell me, so let's see. Let's find out about that. Let's talk about the Liberals with landing a major big fish.
Yeah, good get. Everybody in our business at one point or another has dealt with Michel LeBlanc,
yes.
And the guy doesn't pull his punches. The guy he is extremely competent. He has crossed swords with François Legault over how Montreal gets treated. It's going to be interesting how he squares that circle with a provincial party that likes to describe itself as, what was it? Autonomist, regionalist, and federalist. It doesn't say Montrealist, which I guess, we may be seeing the beginnings of that as well, Sue, that Montreal is the issue that dare not speak its name, even though half of the GDP in Quebec occurs in the greater Montreal area. Let's focus on the regions. Let's make sure that we're able to get those, get those CAC supporters to come and vote for us. God knows what deals are going to have to be cut. But I'm glad to see a very experienced, very sharp candidate in the form of Monsieur Leblanc. But also, it's going to be interesting to see because let's face it, party solidarity, and the thing is, when you're, no matter who you are in the party, you keep, you told the party line, you keep your mouth shut. It'll be interesting to see if Monsieur Leblanc thinks that perhaps in this campaign, Montreal is not getting, how can I put it, its share of attention. It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds and whether he's going to be quizzed on it, because this is a guy, as I say, who has been perhaps Montreal's biggest promoter, biggest ambassador, and I'm really wondering how that record is going to be able to be juxtaposed on the coming campaign. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting situation.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there for now. James, thank you so much.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Hello. Oh my gosh. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.